Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and today we're going to take a look at the new DC Collectibles New 52 Earth 2 Wonder Woman figure. Now this figure is the fourth figure in DC Collectibles Earth 2 assortment. We took a look at the first three figures in the assortment when they came out last week, and this fourth figure has been released this week. So we're going to take a look at it today. And it comes packaged in the same type of packaging that we saw with the first three figures, and pretty much your standard DC Collectibles box type packaging. You've got the Earth 2 logo up at the top, then you've got the figure clearly displayed with white and blue colors for this figure on the packaging, and then you've got the name of the figure down below. On the one side you have a colored in image of the character, and then on the other side you have an actual image of the figure, and it tells us that the figure is based on art by Nicola Scott and is sculpted by Karen Palenko. Then finally on the back we have a little thumbnail image of the figure, a little brief bio about the figure, and then a look at the other three figures in the assortment, which include Earth 2 Batman, Earth 2 The Flash, and Earth 2 Green Lantern. And again, those three figures came out last week, with this fourth one hitting comic and specialty shops today. Okay, so let's get this figure open and take a look at what's inside. So here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. And as I said, this is a version of Wonder Woman from the alternate Earth 2 universe. This version of Wonder Woman, she has the blue mini skirt. She has her traditional red and blue, silver and gold colors. There's some nice sculpting work on the figure and some pretty good paint apps. I like the metallic blues and silvers that they use for like the boots. You can see the upper part of the boots are silver metallic, and I like how they've sculpted like the birds on her boots. And then I like how the blue metallic paint on the bottom of her boots really stands out. And then again, some nice sculpting detail on her left arm with her arm guard that goes all the way up, halfway up her arm. And she can bend her elbow even with the arm guard, which is nice. Even some nice detailing, like she has red nail polish on her fingers. And then I like the sculpting, like on her chest plate. They've got the eagle sculpted on her chest plate, which looks pretty good. The skirt, mini skirt, is a soft vinyl material, flexibility there. She's also got her lasso, which is also a flexible, soft material. It's not removable from the figure, and you do want to use caution, because if you pulled on it too hard, it would probably pull off. It's just a little attached with a little piece of soft plastic. And just nice detailing all around. Again, you can see like the stitch work on the side of her mini skirt, and then going up her side on the red portion of the costume. You've got the silver stars sculpted on the skirt. You've got the belt with her lasso, and just again some really nice details. Her hair is softer plastic. And it doesn't really prohibit the movement of her head too much, which is nice. Now the only thing I don't particularly like with this figure is I don't like what they've done with the eyeballs on the face. The eyes are sculpted really open, and then they've used this almost kind of blue for her eyeballs that almost like glitters, and it just makes her eyes look just really open to me, almost like an anime type look, and just looks a little off. That's really the only thing I don't like about this figure, is how the eyes look on it. The figure comes with one accessory. She comes with a big sword like you see her use in the comic books. And for the most part, nice detail, that same kind of silver metallic paint that you see on her arm and boots. They've used for the blade of the sword. She's got like the bird sculpted for the hilt. Now the blade itself is a pretty hard plastic, so you don't have to really worry about it warping. The handle, however, is a softer plastic with some flexibility, which is actually not bad, because it can kind of bend as you're trying to get her to hold the sword in two-handed poses. It gives you a little more flexibility with posing the figure with the sword. But that is a much softer plastic than what the actual blade is. And she can hold the sword in both hands, though I think it looks better in her left hand. And you kind of have to pry it in between her fingers. But she does hold it pretty well once you get it in there. To me, it looks a little bit big in her right hand. But again, she can, if you want her to hold it in the right hand, she can. So the figure stands at about 6 3/4 inches tall. She's pretty close to about the same height as the new 52 Wonder Woman, maybe just a little bit shorter, but pretty close in height. And then here she is against standing next to the Earth 2 Batman figure. You can see she's a little bit shorter than Batman. Articulation on this figure is not too bad. Her head is on a ball joint, so she can look left and right. She has some down movement with the head, not too much in the way of being able to look back, primarily because of the hair. The arms are your standard ball hinge joints at the shoulder, so she's got good, she can get the arm out in good rotation. She does have a bicep swivel. And the bicep joint on the left arm is hidden by the arm guard. She has single jointed elbows, so she can bend her elbow about that much. She can bend her right arm, the elbow on her right arm, a little bit more because it doesn't have that arm guard. But she still has pretty good bending on both arms, even with that arm guard. And then there is a swivel at the glove cuff, or basically at the bottom of her wrist bracelets, so she can turn there. It does not have any kind of wrist articulation, and the left arm does not have that. Actually, I take that back. It does, because it's a separate piece. So even with that larger arm guard, she does have swivel at basically at the glove cuff. There is no midsection articulation on this figure, no ab crunch and no swivel at the waist. The legs are ball joints, so she can do the splits pretty well. The skirt, kind of restricts the movement a little bit, but not too much, and she can get the leg forward pretty good, and then even back pretty good. No thigh swivel. She does have a swivel at the knee. She has a single hinged knee, so she can get the bending at the knee, and the joint is pretty well hidden because of the way the boot is sculpted to cover the joint. And then for the ankles, she has the hinge at the ankle, so she's got up and down movement. No swivel, just the up and down. And then this figure has one peg hole at the bottom. So that's my review. Overall, I think this is a pretty solid Wonder Woman figure. In fact, probably one of the nicer Wonder Woman figures DC Collectibles has done. Articulation is pretty solid for DC Collectibles. It's about on par with what we saw with the Crime Syndicate Superwoman figure. That one has the hinges on the wrists, but other than that, the articulation is pretty comparable. Definitely much better articulation than what we see on the new 52 regular version of Wonder Woman. And I like the overall look of the costume and everything with this particular figure. Again, the only thing I don't like terribly is the way the eyes are done on it. But that's really only kind of a minor complaint. But otherwise, I think it's a nice figure. Definitely, if you're collecting the other Earth 2 figures in the line, then I think you'll definitely want to pick this one up. But even if you just want a good Wonder Woman figure, I think this one will probably fit in pretty good with your your regular DC Comic Universe figures for the most part. So, as I said, this figure is hitting comic and specialty stores now, so you should be able to go out and find it. So that's my review. I hope you enjoy it. Until next time, I'll check you later.